I keep my goals to myself, cause whenever I share it with folks, they get a look upon their face and their memory floats to a time where their goals and the stars ain't...
What's good? We're going to get into Monday Night Raw from June the 22nd, 2026. This was a pretty okay show for the most part. We got a lot of things to sink our teeth into. The Street Profits are, once again, the new Tag Team Champions. That's cool there. I like that. That's fine. We got a Lyra Valkyria heel turn. That's fine also. We already knew going into this that one of them was going to turn on the other. So Bayley did it last time, and now it's Lyra's turn. So that's fine. Which actually makes sense. We got Chad Gavle on this show. He got turned down by the Alpha Academy. They all rejected him. So that was cool. And they gave that a lot of time, and I really did like that. That was a really good segment on this show. That was really good. We also had the Jey Uso Oba Femi confrontation, and Joe Hendry is back. He showed up, but he showed up in the main event. So we'll talk about that. But all in all, the show was actually okay. Was it bad? No. Was it good? No. It was just okay to all right. You could even say decent, but I'm just going to use all right. So we kicked the show off with Oba Femi. Oba got a really good reaction in London. Raw came on early. Came on 2 p.m., which is fine. I love watching Raw early anyway. So Oba's promo was basically extremely simple. So he says that Destiny has been kind to him so far, and she's still on his side. He considers victory a foregone conclusion, such that he's already considering what to do after he becomes the king of the ring. Does he go after the WWE Undisputed Championship or the World Heavyweight Championship? So the London crowd clearly makes it clear that they want him to go after Roman Reigns and not Cody Rhodes, which is fine. And I love that. This is great. This is great. Again, I know people are wondering, like, what's Cody going to do at SummerSlam? That's not important, right? The WWE Championship has taken a back seat, right? It is now the B player championship, right? So there's that. Like, I doubt if Cody would even main event night 1 or night 2 of SummerSlam. It's just not going to happen, right? And I think that Cody's going to either face CM Punk or he's going to face Sami Zayn, right? They're going to do something like that. So, there's that. Jey Uso shows up, gets a good reaction. He yeets for like 10 minutes, and then he runs it back again. He's out of breath for all the yeeting and everything with the crowd. So Jey simply says that Oba was overlooking him just like everyone else always has. He'll win King of the Ring, that being Jey Uso, like he did the Royal Rumble and the World Heavyweight Championship while being overlooked. So Oba responds by saying, if you shoot, don't miss. But even if you do, you're getting destroyed. And so Oba says he's not worried one bit about Jey Uso, but rather his cousin, the Tribal Chief Roman Reigns. He told Jey Uso to go tell Roman that he's coming. So this was great. I actually did like this. This was short and sweet. This didn't last no more than about maybe 8 minutes. I mean, it was... The entrance for Jey was like 5. Oba, what he said was like 2 or 3 minutes. And then Jay said what he said was a couple minutes as well. So it wasn't too long, which is fine with me. I do think that Jey Uso will lose King of the Ring. It kind of makes sense because they're already teasing Oba and Roman. Remember when Oba beat Brock at Mania? Roman already, mentioned Oba Femi backstage. So it could be they are teasing and hinting at an Oba Femi Roman Reigns feud. And I think, to me, that's fine. It's what needs to happen. You might as well go ahead and strike while the iron is hot. Again, Roman doesn't need to have the title too long anyway. We already know it's going to be Rock and Roman going into WrestleMania 43 next year in Saudi. Rock will more than likely show up anyway. We don't need Rock and Roman to have a title attached to it, right? That's my thing. We don't need that, right? Those two transcend championship gold. And we know that Rock and Roman's going to be on the table for next year. The Saudis are going to offer a tremendous fucking amount of money to get both Rock and Roman. So we know that shit's coming down the pipeline at some point in time. Like, even if Rock doesn't show up until, like, early next year or whatever, we know that it's going to be Rock and Roman going into Saudi next year. And you might as well go ahead and build it now while you've got a lot of time. Don't wait till January next year to start the build. Go ahead and start it, now. So this was okay. Moving on, this leads us into Bayley and Lyra Valkyria. They were interviewed backstage by Jackie Redmond. Lyra said that they need this win and that this is their time. Bayley said they've been the best tag team in the division for a long time, and they'll prove it tonight. She said Lyra got the match for them tonight. Bayley said their trust and teamwork will make all the difference. So this leads us into the first match of the night. Paige and Brie Bella defeat Lyra Valkyria and Bayley to retain the WWE Women's Tag Team Championships. The match was okay. It didn't last long anyway. So Lyra lost to Paige. She ate the Rampage for the 1, 2, 3. Post-match, Lyra and Bayley, they were soaking up the cheers and stuff in the crowd after they lost. So Bayley assured Lyra that they're the best. She helped her up and she hugged her. And then out of nowhere, Lyra snapped and attacked Bayley. She beat her up. She threw her into the ring post, the ring ropes a couple times. She ended up stomping her, and then she ended up hitting the Nightwing, and that was it. So this is fine. I actually do like this. Heel Lyra is interesting. I'm down with it. We already knew this was going to happen anyway at some point in time. We knew that tensions were brewing for the longest anyway, for months and months. So, yeah. This makes sense, though. It does. And it gives both women something to do anyway, right? So, there's that. It is what it is. Moving on from that, Jackie, she tried to approach Lyra and asked what happened, and then Lyra just stormed past her. So, and there's that. All right, moving on from that, this leads us into Chad Gable. He got a really good reaction. Chad Gable says he's had one hell of a month, and it all started when he lost his mask in Mexico. Chad Gable said losing the mask showed him he lost more than the last couple of years, including his self-respect, his reputation, his dignity, and some friends. He said Rey Mysterio taught him it's never too late to right some wrongs, and then he invited Alpha Academy to the ring. Chad Gable told Maxine that she had potential from the start and always wanted to be the best she could be. He said she won a singles title, which he hasn't accomplished by himself. Himself. Chad Gable said the way he treated her was pathetic, and it was his fault. He told Tozawa that he has a heart of a lion, and he tried to smother him and hold him back. Pause. Chad Gable said the way he treated him was pathetic and embarrassing. Chad Gable told Otis that he's the most loyal friend anyone on this planet could ever have. He said that he would have taken a bullet from him. He said his voice began to crack. He said they've been friends for over 20 years, and he misses him. Damn, I didn't know they had been friends that long. Good gosh. Wow. That's insane. I didn't even know that. Wow, wow. Wow. I'm trying to think, when did Otis come into WWE? When did he come in? Was it 2015, 2016, I think? I think it was something like that. So, yeah, it's been about at least 10 years. Damn. Wow. So, Chad Gable said that they trained at the Olympic Training Center together, and he held his girls in his arms the day after they were born. He said he threw it all away because he wanted the Intercontinental Championship more than he valued their friendship. He said the three of them don't owe him a thing, but he owes them an apology. He looked them in the eye and said that he's sorry. So Otis turned away from a handshake offer. Then looked at Maxine and Tozawa. So he was about to shake their hands. So Maxine Dupree, she intervened, and she basically said that it's a no. It's a hard no. After he left them high and dry for all those months, how she had to be in the corner pleading and begging for him not to hurt Tozawa. So her answer is no, and then they all walk out. So this is pretty good. I actually like this. Maxine said she used to believe every word of that came out of Chad Gable's mouth, but now she sees everything about him as a lie. She said they all want to believe him and give him a second chance, but she doesn't. She says everything's always been about Chad Gable, and even this apology is about Chad Gable. She said she won her title, and she realized that they didn't need him then, and they don't need him now, and then that was it. So I like that. This makes perfect sense. They are going to turn her heel, and they have now teased this heel turn. So this is fine. I like it. Really good stuff here. Excellent. This is really, really good. This was great. Moving on, this leads us into Rey Mysterio. He's backstage talking to Dragon Lee, telling him to teach Ethan Page some respect for Lucha Libre. Penta walked up and he gave some encouragement, words of encouragement to Rey in Spanish, and same thing with Dragon Lee. Okay, that's fine. Ethan Page defeats Dragon Lee. So this is fine. Ethan Page ended up hitting a low blow. The referee didn't see it, and he ended up hitting the Egoplex. Which is weird because why did he stop using the Twisted Grin? That's weird as fuck to me. But again, it's always good to have another finisher in pro wrestling. That's always a good thing. You should have at least 2 or 3 finishers, but that's fine. But I'm just more of a fan of the Twisted Grin, if we're being honest. So there's that. It's fine. So yeah. Moving on from that, this leads us into the Vision. So they're backstage. Austin Theory says that they're in the building. That they're building the future. Logan Paul said that if it was up to him, he'd yank off his arm brace and beat up the Street Profits with it. But none of that matters. He said he's healing faster than any human being has ever healed, which is kind of funny. It's like, nah, Logan, all humans are basically the same. It takes time. Logan Paul said that if he was a betting man, he'd have all his money on Austin Theory and Braun Breaker. Braun Breaker said they'll handle business tonight, and then he'll rip off Seth Rollins' head in the steel cage at Night of Champions. Okay, that's fine there. Moving on. This leads us into Io Sky. So she was interviewed by Jackie Redmond. She got a really good reaction. So Liv interrupted Io, and she says that she's more talented than Io Sky. So basically, Io began to speak angry Japanese to Liv Morgan, and then the two of them brawled, and then that was kind of it. So this thing was short and sweet. It didn't last no more than about probably 2 or 3 minutes. So there's that. Whatever. Not really that important. Moving on. Jimmy told Jay to focus on King of the Ring, and he'll take care of LA Knight. So Jacob Fatu showed up. Jay asked why was he on SmackDown talking to Solo. So Jacob said he doesn't take orders or explain himself to them, to their punk asses, which is hilarious. Jay asked what the plan is. Jacob said if Solo crosses the line, he won't like what he finds. Okay, that's fine. Moving on, this leads us into Judgment Day stuff along with Danhausen. So, Judgment Day, JD McDonough and Dominic Mysterio, they want their money. They want their $100K. Danhausen said that he spent their $100K on equipment and other things. So, this pissed off both Dom and JD. JD ended up getting cursed, and he ended up getting electrocuted, and then that was it. Okay, whatever. Who cares about this shit? Moving on, this leads us into LA Knight. He defeated Jimmy Uso. So Sikoa showed up towards the end of the match, got involved, ended up hitting a Samoan spike on the ring apron, and then LA Knight ended up hitting the BFT for the 1, 2, 3, and that was all she wrote. So that's fine there. I like that. That makes perfect sense. Hopefully, Solo Sikoa will get involved at Night of Champions on Saturday and cost Jey Uso. I think that could happen there. So we'll have to wait and see how that plays out. I'll talk about that more during the Night of Champions predictions. Moving on from that, this leads us into the Street Profits. They're backstage. So they talk about they're going to shoot their shot at the tag team titles, and that was it. So, okay, that's fine. Moving on from that, this leads us into Bayley. Jackie Redmond wanted to get a comment from Bayley. So Bayley was icing her neck and said she had no comment. Okay, that's fine. That's fine. Moving on, Raquel Rodriguez. She was lamenting her loss to Roxanne Perez. So Dom and JD, they walked up. JD tried to introduce himself. Liv Morgan walked in and then was worked up. And she insisted that she's going to be queen of the ring. Raquel said that there's more going on than just her goals. So Liv told Raquel to go after Sol Ruka and take care of her IC title. And Liv said that they need to take JD to be medically cleared. And she wants Dom and JD to go after the Intercontinental Championship. I'm like, what the hell? And then, Roxanne Perez, she's like, what is she going to do? So they're still teasing this stupid-ass Judgment Day breakup. Who gives a fuck about this shit? Moving on from that, this leads us into a sit-down interview, which is pretty good, featuring Seth Rollins and Corey Graves. So, Corey basically asked Seth Rollins, how's he going to handle the Vision? Seth Rollins said that he credits the Street Profits, and now he's 1 win away from putting the Vision behind him. Corey Graves said he's stepping into a cage against Braun Breaker. and he might not walk out of the cage at all. Seth Rollins said he knows that there's risk and a lot can go wrong. He said he has a problem, and he's been an expert at figuring out a way around that problem. He said the match with Braun Breaker will show the world who he is. Seth Rollins said if he can beat Braun Breaker and put the vision behind him, he can go back after the title that he never lost. Okay, that's fine. That makes sense. We all know it's going to be Seth Rollins versus Roman Reigns at SummerSlam, possibly more than likely. So there's... Moving on, this leads us into Chad Gable. He's backstage talking to Adam Pearce that he's going to face Penta at some point in time. Okay, that's fine. So Dom walks up and told him that he shouldn't face Penta before him. Dom said he doesn't deserve anything as he couldn't get forgiveness from his loser friends. Gable said that Dom is the one who sent him to Mexico in the first place, and he's a dumbass. So Chad Gable suggested a match against Dom. Dom volunteered JD. JD was confused and thought Pierce was a doctor, so whatever. I don't care about this. Main event of the evening. The Street Profits, they defeat the Vision, Braun Breaker, and Austin Theory to become the new WWE Tag Team Champions with help from Seth Rollins and Joe Hendry. So this match was pretty good, pretty fun. Logan Paul came out, got involved. He ended up getting ejected in the middle of the match. He ended up coming back, left, brass knucks. Joe Hendry came out and for whatever weird reason and chased off Logan Paul, which was hilarious. I like that shit. That's pretty fun there. So Joe Hendry being back is fine. I guess he had visa issues or whatever. Which it happens from time to time with international talent. So then Seth Rollins showed up. He ended up hitting a stomp onto Austin Theory. The Street Profits ended up hitting their finish, and then Montez does the frog splash, 1, 2, 3, and the Street Profits are the new tag team champions, which is fine. I like that. This is fine. This makes perfect sense. I knew they were going to end up doing a title change here. At least we're going to see one set of titles change hands, right? So that's fine. It makes sense. All in all, Monday Night Raw for the most part was actually okay. I like the Chad Gable and Alpha Academy stuff. I thought that was good. The Vision stuff, it is what it is. Who cares? Lara turning on Bayley is fine. That's okay. I like what they're doing with Seth Rollins and Braun Breaker. And I enjoyed the Oba Femi and Jey Uso confrontation. I like that. So Raw, for the most part, was okay. But what did you guys think? Let me know. Like, comment, subscribe. Oh, before I forget, Raw will be on at 6 p.m. next week. So that's great. So Raw coming on at 6 p.m. in the afternoon, that is solid. I love that. I really do. But what do you guys think of Monday Night Raw? Let me know. Like, comment, subscribe. Peace.